Okay, so you're talking about snake people and rock people. These are beings that I've not heard of before. Could you tell us a little bit more about them, how you discovered them, and why that they're here as well?
Yeah, I discovered them on inner earth journeys. So the snake people are very interesting. They have a lot to do with the Kundalini energy, but they're also shapeshifters, and they can shapeshift into dragons. And dragons, they're going anywhere they want, right? They can go galactic or inner earth, um, but um, but but they have a really interesting lineage. Incredible about medicine, incredible, and they really do help the earth. There's also the rock people. The rock people, some of them are huge. They're giants, boulders. They work a lot with the pyramids. If you see a mountain, it is also a pyramid on this planet. If you go underneath it, it's 3 or 5 times the size. I mean, it's just, there's all sorts of power there. And the power has this really earthy strength that you would think would be formidable. But again, you shine your heart space, and they let you in.
Hey, beautiful soul, I'm Hayden Crawford, your host and soul guide here at the Dreamtime Academy, a cosmic mystery school for starseeds and truth seekers, just like you, who are looking at rediscovering your inner wisdom for a life of more freedom, joy, and purpose. Now, before we dive into today's episode, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to this channel and click the bell for future notifications so that you never miss one of my podcast episodes of either the Numerology Show or Cosmic Conversations, or indeed some of my transmissions, which will help to activate the next layer of your spiritual awakening. I'm the author of the Starseed Ascension Guide and the Cosmic Family Oracle cards, both designed to help you to reconnect to your higher self and remember who you truly are. If you want to dive deeper, we have an online membership portal called the Oversoul Codex Collective, where you can join a like-minded group of starseeds from all across the planet as you delve into courses in numerology, colour therapy, and cosmic consciousness as well. You can also support this channel by becoming a member, either as a soul spark or a codex keeper. If you're feeling the call to join us together in person, then we also host consciousness expanding retreats in Perth, where you can really start to experience this incredibly immersive work within community environment. Once again, your support really helps this channel to grow. So thank you for joining this team of galactic light workers from all across the planet, helping to expand consciousness and bring light into the darkness. So welcome back to Cosmic Conversations, where we explore spirituality, consciousness, and the deeper mysteries of the universe with incredible guests from all across the world. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Teri Renner, a multidimensional teacher, channel, intuitive, medium, and healer who has created a beautiful sacred space for people to breathe, release, and remember who they truly are. Through her work, Teri helps others reconnect with their inner wisdom and their multidimensional nature, guiding them through healing, spiritual awakening, and deeper self-awareness. She also shares her insights with a growing community on her YouTube channel, where she explores consciousness, energy, and the journey of remembering who we are beyond the physical world. Teri, it's such a pleasure to have you here with me on Cosmic Conversations today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Hayden. I'm so happy to be here. I'm honored.
Oh, that's so sweet for you to say that. I really appreciate you saying that as well.
I
We're off
mean
to a good start.
it. Right.
So for people who may be discovering you for the first time today, can you share a little bit about your journey and how you first awakened to your intuitive and multidimensional abilities?
Oh yeah, I'd love to. Like I said before, I'm a Leo, so it's all about me. But but I started in the crib. So I started seeing spirit come in. There were these meteors that used to come in, and these beings inside these big rocks that would come in. And the rocks were filled with, you're going to love this because it's crystalline energy. And usually it was lavender. Amethyst.
Mm.
So the energy would come in, and they'd tell me how to turn the dial up or turn it down because other entities would come in that I didn't want to see. And then I started seeing angels. I was jumping out of my body left and right. And I started going to a place called the School of Metaphysics when I was 12. And I had a 4-year degree from them by the time I was 17. So I was teaching meditation, I was teaching metaphysics, I was teaching dream interpretation. And then I kind of rebelled a little bit, and went into Buddhism, went to Unity. Was raised a Catholic, though I always believed in reincarnation. And then raising children and whatnot, and going through life, and kind of got back into it. I never really got away from it. I always saw people. I could see spirit. I could see galactics. I could see inner Earth beings, and kind of kept my hand in it. But then, as lots of things happened, my husband passed away, and so I went into this darkness, right? Um, and and that's when I really started getting back involved in it and going to retreats and really studying again and going deeper within.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that your husband passed, Terry. I didn't know that about you. So
Yeah.
was that like a trigger, like a catalyst for you to go deeper into, the spiritual insights that you'd gained earlier on in your life?
Yeah, completely,
Mm.
completely. And it also gave me the opportunity to do it because we'd had a business for years. And so, you know how it is when you have your own business, you're so busy all the time. So, so that was great. I sold the business. I started going to retreats and getting certifications, which because I thought I had to have all these certifications. But it was really good. It put me in touch with great communities, and then the pandemic hit, and of course, once the pandemic hit, that was just it was so sad, but in other ways, it was so bountiful because I feel like all these teachers came online and all these people that I'd been studying with for years, but they were all together in one place. So, I could listen to anybody I wanted to, and so it was really a gold mine in that. And now I have a channel on YouTube called Holding Your Space, and a meditation tribe that I've started, which now I have other people doing the meditations in the mornings, and I do something called a soul pause. And it's just little 2 minute, 3 minute, 6 minute meditations or breath work or something on a daily basis that you can do. So, as well as I do retreats, I do workshops all the time and whatnot. So, yeah,
Wow, that's so much. There's a lot to unpack there, isn't there?
yeah,
Because, it doesn't just happen overnight. I mean, I know that from my own experience, when all of this it has to take a bit of a process because you've got to learn, grow, evolve, integrate, anchor, and then share. And it takes a while to get to where you've got to, for people that are watching that think that, this comes easy. It's definitely not that way. It's a lifetime of kind of lessons. And some of those are really, really difficult, obviously like the crossing of your husband, etc. What do you feel has been the most valuable part of your journey that really woke you up then to your multidimensional nature? What was that moment?
Oh, wow. That's such a great question. Well, I love that you were saying earlier activations because I feel like the past maybe 5 years have been activation overload, Hayden, but I feel like all this energy is coming in. Also, I've been blessed with really great teachers. And I had a particular teacher, Reverend George Saul, who was a crystal shaman. So he left me a lot of his crystals. And he walked on a couple of years ago, but it's like, that was another catalyst. He started bringing in this channeling of 33 trillion angels. So I channel on a regular basis, but the 33 trillion, and this, it's a mathematic thing because you know how mathematical spirituality is. I mean, it just goes hand in hand, right, with science and math. And so we would channel 33 trillion angels multiplied by the 144,000 frequency to the 72nd power. And when you feel that in your room, the energy gets really big. And it's not that I say that you need them because we are sovereign and we can do it on our own, but gosh, they sure are fun to play with.
That's a lot to try and interact with. 33 trillion angels plus the 144 the 144,000 ascended masters as well. Uh, Times by seven, you say. So where does that calculation come
I'm
from?
72.
72.
George was a Vedic master as well, so it's part of it's Vedic and part of it's just a math quotient. You know, lots of nines in there. So, but and the threes, of course. But the it's interesting. When I was a child, I would jump out of my body constantly, and now when I dream or I'll go into visions, I'm always jumping out of whatever body I'm using. And so I think that it helps me to keep that frequency up, to travel between dimensions.
Yeah, I can imagine. So you're traveling in between dimensions, you're seeing angels, you're seeing galactics. What do they look like? You know, how do they appear to you? Do you feel like they are different to the way other people perceive them, or do you find commonalities?
Some commonalities, but I think we all perceive things in our the way that's right for our soul. You know, I really think that how I perceive things is going to be different than how other people probably perceive them. So I had one vision. I'm meditating by a body of water, and I look to my left, and there's this big guy there. Well, he's about 300 feet tall, and it was Metatron, and he's just kind of hanging out next to me, and I this so that I would not get scared by him. And he's wearing a tracksuit, and of course it's satin, and it's pink and aqua and amethyst because he is those energies, right? The rose quartz, the aquamarine, the amethyst. And his energy was just so big, and he comes in really laid back and pretty cool when I work with him. I also work with a lot of inner earth beings, and I travel inner earth to the zero dimension, which I think is the primordial code part of it, as well as in the multiverse, the zero dimension. So the point of the beginning and infinite potential. So I work with that quite a bit. And that's quite interesting because there are so many inner earth beings that are also galactic. So they travel back and forth, right? And lots of shapeshifters too. So yeah.
Wow, that's a lot. It really is, you know. So all the inner Earth beings and some of those are galactic. So is that what we're talking about with the Silver Fleet that are coming up through Lake Titicaca and places like that? They're going from
Yeah.
outer space into the inner Earth. And
Uh,
is that the same thing?
yes, 100%. Some of it is.
Mm.
Some of it is because some of it is, of course, they have bases in inner Earth, and it's like another universe down there. It's just a different dimension. Temples, Atlantis, Lemuria, all sorts of energy down there. And then also you have more waters, physical waters inside the planet than on the crust of the planet. So those are the healing waters. There's a magma, the fires, the agni of the earth that are really great for abundance and also releasing. So there's all sorts of different dimensions inside the inner earth that are really fun to play with. I think that we do a lot galactically. sometimes, but inner earth can be really fun too.
Mm. It sounds amazing to go and visit. I mean, is there, for someone like myself, if I wanted to go and explore the inner Earth, how do I get a ticket to go and have a look?
Well, I think you just have to make the request. I think you just have to have the intention. So when I travel into inner earth and my journey in there, you can use a tree, you can do a very shaman type thing and use a tree. You can also just go inward. You can take a dragon down if you'd rather. There's a million different ways to do it, but I really travel. I like traveling through trees. I the darkness of the soil and the root system that connects all of the earth, all around the earth. So, and the elementals there too, because that's another layer, right? Why not? And then going inside inner earth, and there's all sorts of core. There's the field of Akash down there, huge galactic and inner earth Akashic records are kept in there. So you can go in there and work with that. And the one thing that I have found, which is really interesting, is that when you come across one of the caverns or one of the cities, you have to show your heart space. You have to have light to get in. And it's usually a being, a guardian in most of the different areas. So that's all you have to do is shine your light.
Oh wow, that's okay then. So you're shining your light from your heart space as you ticket into the inner world, plus setting an intention that you want to go there,
Yeah.
and you can use the root systems of the trees to be able to find your way through there. Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that's really interesting to use is grandmother spider. So grandmother spider, the great weavers, right? And using their strands, their silver strands. And I believe that with the ley line and the grid system then of the planet, outside the planet, the new light grid that's coming in, and then also connects to all sorts of different universal and multiverse areas. So,
Mm.
yeah.
Wow, this sounds really interesting. I often, it's funny we're talking about this because for the last few days, I must admit, I've been um, almost beating myself up a little bit, thinking, oh, I'm not worthy of exploring, higher dimensions of consciousness because of some of my human behaviors. And I've been observing some of
Oh,
my fear-based human behaviors, such as, I mean, the other day I was watering the garden and there was a praying mantis in the garden and it was really close to the hose. And I was scared of the praying mantis, so I got the hose. That sounds really awful, here's you talking about, the elementals and how nature is there to support us. And here's me like hose piping a praying mantis away from the pipe so I can turn the tap off, and then I'm feeling guilty about doing it. I'm thinking, well, you're not, like the galactics are watching you and they're seeing your behavior and, you're being really naughty and, inconsiderate. How does that play a part in whether or not that that they want to connect with you? Do they watch our human behavior and do they go, he's not ready yet because look at what he's up to? Do they do that, do you think?
well, let me just say somebody's always watching. Yeah, there's always somebody watching. But I don't think there's a lot of judgment for the most part. So, like your intent is not to harm people. Your intent is to water your garden, nurture your plants. So, so that's a different thing. And we all have our moments, right? We're in the constructs of the ego and the constructs of society when we're here in this human suit. So that makes a big difference for us. And we judge ourselves, right? There's so much shame involved in ego.
Mm,
So I don't know about you, but I've got that. So,
mm.
I had a Catholic father and a Jewish mom. So I got it on both ends. But it's kind of like you just kind of come to the center, right?
Mm.
And the more that we center ourselves, but yeah, I can walk around and somebody runs into me at the supermarket, and I'm like, oh, but Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's an interesting dynamic though, isn't it? Because, for people that, like me, that I want to evolve and I want to experience these things. And I just wonder sometimes whether my human behavior and the judgments that I hold on myself and, the fear of being judged by the watchers is keeping me sort of limited in what I can experience. So I think you've kind of touched upon that, and I understand what you're saying about, to move out of judgment, to recognize this as just being part of the human experience, and that, as long as your intent isn't to want to kill anything, then, that it's not going to necessarily block you. But that belief that it could block you may be the very thing that's blocking the experience.
Right. Yeah. The way our self-talk is huge
Mm.
when we're here. And it's interesting. I just had a meditation the other day, and I'm realizing that they are all cheering us on. Like our guides are up there and the angels are up there. I say up there because I'm very linear, and but they're around us and they're always watching. But they're watching so they can cheer us on, and they get so excited. Like I hear them saying, "Oh my God, look at what she's going to do now! I'm so excited about this." And it's whether you're watering your garden or you're going to the grocery store or you're going to drive and do something hard, and you're upset about it, but you're going through with it. And they're huge cheerleaders. Yeah, they're just so excited. Like, I feel like it's such an honor to be on the earth at this time that we're going through this transmission or transaction or transformation. That's the word I'm
Mm.
looking transformation. So everybody's watching. I mean, it's a joy for them, and I think they were really excited that we came down. Like I think a lot of them are quite surprised.
Well, surprised that we came here in the first place.
Yeah, and this at this time.
Ah,
What
and that's
about you? Do
because
you feel that?
it's quite it's not easy, is it? Let's face it, for anybody. I'm seeing so many people that I know, that people that were in my year at school, that are crossing, that I'm hearing that a lot recently. So
Yeah.
people that aren't, that
Sorry.
they've got this far as well. And I wonder, why would you incarnate and then get to the almost like the nexus point and then decide to leave just before all the good stuff happens, It baffles me. It's
I
like,
like.
what
Yeah,
sort of
I
contract is that,
right. It's crazy, isn't it? I remember pre-birth and coming in, and the planet that I was coming from. I'm Hadarian, but the star that we were using, everybody was golden and white light, and coming in, I was like, I'm going to go. And everybody looked at me and they all started singing in a chorus, like, oh my God, she's going to go, she's going to go, she's going to go. So, 100 voices are talking to me. And they were all so surprised that they were so excited. And I just did a swan dive onto the earth. But it was like, yeah, I'm going to do it, man.
That's a beautiful pre-birth memory for you to have. For people that don't know about pre-birth memories, that's becoming more and more popular and more common now, isn't it? People are starting to remember
Yeah.
where they were, or their intentions that they set before they came here, as much as they are with near-death experiences. So, what is that, and why do you think that more and more people are starting to remember this agreement that they made before they came?
I think we're awakening so quickly in the energy that's coming in. And like you said, we are acclimating to the energy. I mean, every cell in our body, the space between every cell in our body times 33 trillion, right? So it grows and it grows. And as we acclimate, our home team is out there and they are really behind us. Like I said, watching us and cheering us on. Also, you'll start remembering more things about pre birth. Like they've also shown me an inner earth packing a golden box filled with all sorts of gifts that I could take with me, a book and this and that. And they said, they were like, time to go. Come on, kid. But I just kept packing. But but I feel like there are so many here that have not necessarily been asleep, but they've been under the constructs of the ego, and going to work, getting things done, taking care of your family, really important things. But we're starting to wonder, is it, who are we, like, why are we here, right? But also that the things that we're seeing are not necessarily that solid. I mean, we know that my hand is not completely solid. It is a you know all sorts of different molecules in action, so energy moving constantly.
Mm,
So between AI, the combination of AI, the light coming in, and there's so much information coming in too.
mm.
I
Do you
don't know if
think
I
AI
answered that.
is changing the way we're perceiving the Earth reality?
Yes,
In
100%.
what way?
Well, it's number one, it's going to open up new avenues of medicine, lots of them. Like they say, if we can make it for the next 10 years, we'll live an additional 20 to 40 years. So that's coming in. There's science that's coming in with it. But there's also an interesting part of it that we've used it before. We've used it on other planets. We've used it in inner Earth. Atlantis had it. Egypt had it. It's been around for a long time, and I think that's part of the reason that a lot of people are like suspect of it. That they've used it before in another lifetime, and it hasn't gone well.
Mm.
So, but I feel like this time we've got it. So, we might have a few things that we have to work out with it, but yeah, I use it every day
Yeah, so
for
do I.
things.
I don't have the fear of it, and I see as
Yeah,
being able to manage it much better than we did in times of Atlantis, because I think our intentions are very different, and because we've got those memories of what happened when we abused it. So
yeah,
yeah, I
I
think you're
think you're
right.
right. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I think it's gonna work out just fine with that. Yeah. I'm
Mm.
not worried about it
I'm
at all.
hopefully optimistic about everything, really. I always have been. Probably a bit like you. I'm a glass half full person, and I believe that the everything that we're imagining is going to take place on the planet is going to be taking place with the reunion with the cosmic family, and as creating new Earth. I see that so clearly in my mind's eye, and I think that's what we need to remember and help other people to remember as well. Is that that's how we bring it in is by imagining it and holding, that very, very clear vision of what it looks like and how you're going to be participating in it. And it's wonderful that there are so many layers to this, as you talk about multidimensionality. What does that truly mean to you, becoming multidimensional?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, for a long time I thought, oh, it's going to be getting to the 14th dimension, man. That's going to be awesome. That golden light and diamond light. I mean, nothing better, right? But now it's just infinite potential is how I'm looking at it. And I'm really into the zero dimension. And that point at the beginning, the primordial part where anything is possible. And I feel like that is such a big deal. And when we get into that, I can even hear the heartbeat of the earth. Like it's amazing. There's so much power there. So we are creators. And I also work with a space called the high heart, which is between your throat chakra and your heart chakra. And you know about it.
Mm.
And I believe it's the jewel of the lotus blossom, you part of your oversoul that you carry with you from lifetime to lifetime. And particularly when I see it, when I perceive it, I don't know about you, but I perceive it to be the same colors as Metatron. I feel like Metatron has a lot of business going on here.
I
So
see it as being turquoise. Yeah, I see that turquoise energy being associated with the upper heart. And it's
yeah,
very connected to, like, I always feel like there's a very Lemurian and Atlantean connection to it as well.
yeah.
It's I feel like it's almost like a portal, isn't it, to
Oh,
your multidimensional true multidimensional nature.
yeah.
Okay, so I love all of that you're saying. So this zero point that you're describing, I had a conversation with a cosmologist called Lynn Boes, the grandfather of numerology, and
Wow.
he taught me about the gyroscopic universe, and he talked about the manifest, how it all started, the being the manifest and the unmanifest. Are you talking about the 0 point there in that regards as being the unmanifest?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
So
part of it. The
why is
void,
that so important to you?
the
And
abyss.
yeah.
Um, well, it's important because okay, when I meditate, I try to go to the space in between, to this zero dimension, and to be just completely present in spirit. And I feel like that's that point, and it ebbs and it flows, right? But at this point, also, I believe that we can find our past selves, little aspects of ourselves that we've left behind. And this can be from past lives, this can be from this lifetime. But like, little Terry, when she was 2, and somebody said, don't laugh that loud. And we can also find our future selves in this space because it's the point of the beginning and the end. So, and you can really become fully dimensional in that and work with your future self and your past self at the same time. So, thus changing your descendants and your ancestral lineages.
And this 0 point then is that connected to the upper heart center? And is that the portal or the gateway into 0 point, do you think? Are they connected?
Oh, that's interesting. I never thought about that, Hayden. Yes, I would have to say it would be.
It
Yeah,
feels like it is. It feels like it's almost
yeah,
like the gateway to 0 point is through the upper heart center. But as you're talking about it now,
yeah. That's really interesting. I feel like you're right because you can go there either way. You can go there, I mean, again, I'm so linear, so I want to go to zero dimension inside the planet. But also, and I'm not saying that other planets don't have it, they do, but Earth is a really fabulous planet. But also outside the multiverse, to that space. It's also there. So it's an interesting density to go to.
mm,
Really interesting.
it does sound it sounds really interesting. So with your galactic lineage then, which race do you particularly align with, or races? And do you feel like this has got something to do with your ability to be able to perceive a lot of different dimensions that other people can't access?
Yeah. So I always say I'm Hadarian. It's Hathor. I always do that. I always get that confused. So I work with the Hathors. I've been inside Inner Earth for a long time as well, many lifetimes there. And when I work with the Galactic Council, it's inside Inner Earth as well. So I do that. Lemurian for sure, Lyran. I mean, you name it, I've kind of been there and done that. But I have a real affinity for the snake people and the rock people as well. The rock people have this primordial energy that is just so deep and beautiful. And and there's other light beings that I don't even know the names of that I've been involved with.
Okay, so you're talking about snake people and rock people. These are beings that I've not heard of before. Could you tell us a little bit more about them, how you discovered them, and why that they're here as well?
Yeah, I discovered them on Inner Earth journeys. So the snake people are very interesting. They have a lot to do with the Kundalini energy, but they're also shapeshifters, and they can shapeshift into dragons. And dragons, they're going anywhere they want, right? They can go galactic or Inner Earth, um, but um, but but they have a really interesting lineage. Incredible about medicine. incredible, and they really do help the earth. There's also the rock people. The rock people, some of them are huge. They're giants, boulders. They work a lot with the pyramids. If you see a mountain, it is also a pyramid on this planet. If you go underneath it, it's 3 or 5 times the size. I mean, it's just there's all sorts of power there, and the power has this really earthy strength that you would think would be formidable, but again, you shine your heart space and they let you in. But they also work a lot with the tectonic plates. And they kind of dance. They're a member of the rock people, but they're a little bit different, and they kind of dance with that.
Mm.
So some of the rock people, if you see uh, Easter Island,
Hmm.
right, very similar, but they're all different beings. They're all different sizes and things in there.
Would they be related at all, do you think, to the beings that Freddie Silver talks about, the giants that
Yeah.
built places like Gigantia on Gozo? And
Yes. Yeah. Definitely.
okay.
Definitely. And there's also water beings inside inner earth. It's interesting when I go inside the inner earth now, the eyes open up like these ancient ones that are waking up. And I don't think they're waking up. I think they're watching us, another person watching us. But there's ancient ones inside the deep crevasses of the ocean. And we'll find out more about those as time goes on, but very very huge and very very ancient. There's also quite a few in the Arctic region, so under the ice and in the ice. So and the governments know about them. They travel through inner Earth, doing things and transporting. So
Mm.
it's not unheard of. There's also huge power banks inside inner Earth, very similar to what Egypt had and whatnot. So that's all there. The reason that we're not using that is because it would destroy economies right now, but they know about it, like kind of similar to Tesla and scalar energy,
Mm.
but bigger even.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. It's interesting because I remember watching a documentary not so long ago, and it was about Adolf Hitler. And I was talking to Debbie Solaris the other day, and this sort of came up, and it's triggering what we're talking about now because in this documentary, Adolf Hitler, at the end of his reign, he was said to have disappeared into Antarctica, and he got in some bell-shaped craft that went through a portal within that region, and I'm presuming that he probably went off to a different dimension. Do you are you aware of that? That
I
his
never really, I know a little bit about him, not very much. But yeah, I feel like while you were talking about that, I'm thinking of Yeshua going into the tomb, right? Another cave. So there's all sorts of things through history where people disappear, and we think, oh, that was it with Yeshua. But of course, we know now that he was in India and Africa and traveled with Mary and Mary Magdalene and had children. So there's, the sky's the limit with all that stuff. But I do find that very interesting. I know that he knew about things. I don't think he was all human. What about you?
what Adolf?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't either. I can't figure it all out yet, but I know that there are, there's obviously some draconian energy. I think that's connected with him, either alpha
yeah,
draconian or some of the lower, maybe even zeta reticuli potentially. I'm not sure. Um, but I definitely got the feeling that they were able to access those portals through the governments during that period, and they weren't necessarily always using those energy frequencies for the purposeful good of what they were designed for. And I think that we're starting to get evidence now, aren't we, through whistleblowers within the US government that that these portals are being guarded by the military, and that they exist, and that they've been around for a long time now. So it's almost like maybe what they were constructed for in the beginning was, or how they formed was through these elemental beings that you're talking about, the water beings
Yes.
and the rock beings. They were kind of formed through those entities, but then they've been taken over by sort of aggressive forces, or that's what I'm feeling. It's like they found them and they've abused them, and they've used them to be able to create chaos and then escape to different matrices and in different parallel dimensions.
Yeah, I think you're right. And from what I understand about draconians is that they're not all bad, but also that the really horrible ones are off planet now. So that might explain a lot. As I understand it, there's a lot of beings that would like their hands on some of the elements that we have inside of inner Earth, the rare minerals around the universe, and there's a lot of big business, I'll say that, that really want a piece of that action and are trading it for technology, but they're not allowed in, is how I've been told. They're not allowed in because they're not pure of heart. They're not, and that sounds simplistic, pure of heart, but that's pretty much what it is. You have to be there for the goodness of all concerned.
Mm.
So our energy has risen since then.
Yeah, I believe that too. I think a lot of the really dark ones have gone as well, but there's like a stain, isn't there, left within the, humans, that some of the people that are in association with those groups.
Yeah, I feel like we're seeing explosions all around the planet, and some of them are physical. The wars that are happening right now, and some of them are material in the geographic, or they might be geological, or they might be business blowing up, banking blowing up, the things that we always thought that we needed, right? A physical paper dollar, and so it's like all these constructs are kind of blowing up right now. So things are changing completely.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
they really are. It's interesting for somebody who's watching this interview that doesn't know anything about any of this. They will probably think we just sound absolutely bonkers because it would be like, oh my God, what are those two on? It's like, are they going through a
Yeah.
midlife crisis? What's taking place with them? But I think more and more people are starting to feel the truth, through their hearts. And when even if they listen to this for the first time and they're like, oh my God, they it may trigger something within them that changes or creates some sort of a shift in their perceptions of the illusion of reality, and it might help them in some way, hopefully. But
Yeah.
why do you think some people are so much more advanced than others, or not necessarily in a snobby or hierarchical way, but
Yeah.
why do you think that there's someone like you who can perceive so much truth, whereas other people are just, sort of just trying to survive?
Yeah. You know, everybody's on our own path, and we all perceive things differently. We talked about that earlier. And you're right where you're supposed to be. It doesn't matter how you think about things differently than me or anything like that. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. And they talk about the flash of light, which I think I don't know about that, but there's one thing called diamond light. And Diamond Light is a lost sutra of Patanjali's. They no longer have the book, but it's an instant awakening. It's kind of like what happened to Moses and Yeshua in the desert. So it's just instant awakening, and I feel like a lot of us are going to go through that. I didn't come out a lot. Like I teach meditation, I do mediumship, and I channel angels. But Inner Earth is like the jam right now, and I think it's really fun, as the galactics are and the elementals. So I feel like it's just right around the corner. that we're going to be knowing more and more about the galactics, and then bam, inner Earth.
Yep, 100%. I'm really excited about that taking place because there's so much hype now, and it's almost like even if this wasn't going to happen, there's so much energy behind it now because of people that are talking about it, people that are watching videos on YouTube that are getting hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views. It's almost like the subconscious, the superconscious mind is generating the field to make it become a reality, even if it wasn't going to happen in the first place. It's like because we are creators, we create our own reality. So of course, you put enough imaginations behind that, it will be birthed into a new version of what we're experiencing. So I think
Yeah,
that I think we're almost the ones that have created it through the deep desire of being dissatisfied with the lies that have been projected onto us since we've been here.
yeah,
Do you
yeah.
believe
It's
that as well? Like we decided.
oh yeah. My mom always said, once they open the vaults at the Vatican, it's hands off. So they know about it. The governments know about it. And there's a lot that's been hidden. And I think initially perhaps it was for the good of all concerned, but now obviously it's to make money, I think.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, but yeah, that's all kind of crumbling.
So more and more people then are going to start seeing, experiencing, interacting with cosmic beings, inner Earth beings. They're going to start and if this flash of light, I mean, I'm probably on the same page as you. I don't believe it's going to be like a solar flare or anything like that. Whatever this flash is, if it's an instant ascension or an instant awakening for a large portion of people on the planet, then then 3D reality, like the bricks and mortar stuff, isn't gonna like it's not gonna pass anymore, is it? People aren't going to buy into it. So are we going to just see that dissolving? Like our tables and chairs and our houses, are they going to just suddenly start like melting like marshmallows?
Oh, I don't know about that. I kind of like I'm kind of thinking about Gryffindor, right? And we've got beautiful old leather chairs and tapestries and magic, but I think it's going to be a mix for a while, really, if you want it to be. But I do believe that we're coming into this age of being able to manifest abundance. So, whatever that means to you, if that means that you can listen to your favorite music every day or live in a beautiful place by the ocean or the mountains, um, we're really going to be living from the heart space, the heart coherence. And consequently, our energy is going to rise. And, the whole planet's going to go after that.
Mm,
It's just, and if you don't, that's okay. Like, it's nothing to fear. Nobody gets left behind.
mm.
We're all on our path.
We're all on our path, yeah. So what you're saying there then is that people will whatever they desire, their heart truly desires, that version of almost heaven on earth is going to become their norm. So instead of them having to go to work and exchange time for money and get, in the hustle of the rat race and be caught up in all the fear, they're just going to live more simplistically. They're going to be able to do that and they're going to because they're going to be feeling so amazing because they're experiencing what they truly wanted to have when they came here that there's
Yeah.
going to be no need for the other stuff.
Maybe. I mean, it's what you want. And it's kind of like you look at I've got good friends that are not into galactic or inner earth at all, and that's cool. They're amazing healers. So the healing energy and the beautiful things that AI is bringing in, right? I mean, that's a huge thing for them, and the food that we'll be able to eat and the water that we'll be able to drink that's really going to sustain us, and the light that we'll drink that will sustain us. So that's their jam. And you don't have to be into the galactics. You don't have to be into inner Earth. That's something that I love to do, but you'll know about them. It'll be here.
Mhm.
So, and I perceive it to be right around the corner. When do you perceive it to happen?
Yeah, same. But when you say right around the corner, I mean, this is the other thing that gets me a little bit because I hear so many people predicting timelines and when
Yeah,
things are going to be taking place, and it almost it sets me back a little bit because some people will be going, oh yeah, within the next 3 to 6 months, and then that 3 to 6 months passes and nothing's shifted in that way, and then you're like, well, hang on a minute, is this really happening? So I think it's creating a lot of really dissatisfied and disillusioned people. Like a lot of
yeah.
the people I work with are done. They're literally saying to me, I'm done. Like I've been waiting for this to take place for such a long time. Why is it, dragging out? And so, with people with those types of blocks, how would you best advise them to remain in faith?
Um, I would definitely say to go into your heart, go into your high heart, and what feels right to you. And if somebody gives you a timeline, I do believe that we were supposed to have, and even 2 or 3 years ago, and the timelines have shifted, and there's reasons for that. So, but it will start to happen. And now what we have instead of this big opening or this big reveal, we have trickle down. I mean, how many times are they seeing orbs? How many times are they seeing ships now? And how many new things have been found underneath the Arctic? And in the waters, they're seeing all sorts of things right now, but that doesn't get in the news. What gets in the news is the horrible atrocities that are going on, and the media is partly to blame for that because that's a clickbait, right? So the algorithm doesn't come up, but they're finding ancient things that they're digging up that have no business being on this planet. The beginning of language, all sorts of things, all sorts of technology. And if you go to, oh, what do I have here? Scientific America is one of the magazines that I take,
Mhm.
but there's hundreds of them out there.
Wow. It's so interesting. Yeah. So it's like a big echo chamber. Whatever you find within your own doom scrolling is just, you know, what you're sort of interested in looking at. But there's so much outside of that that's really going on that's being hidden, or it's just not showing up for you because it's not what your algorithm is projecting back to you. So I think that's important. It's a really important point to remember that
Yeah.
you've got to use your discernment with what's taking place now. But how do you see the reunion of our cosmic families actually looking like? What's your version of it?
Okay, I got a couple of different ideas on that.
Okay.
In number one, there's so many hybrids on the planet. I believe that as the light changes on the planet, um, we're going to start noticing that they have decidedly different looks to them, and not everybody's going to see that. Not everybody's going to see that their skin might be a different color. Their eyes might look like the ocean or the sky. Um, that there's something about them that's quite different, but more and more people will notice that how many hybrids that we have. The other thing that'll happen is as this becomes more knowledgeable and people see that happening, like you might see webbed feet or webbed hands or whatnot, um, it's going to happen with people that love them are going to see that, and they won't be afraid because that's their grandson or that's their you know niece or nephew. So it's going to be we're going to find out that among us are many that aren't all human.
Do you think we could even be discovering that we are hybrids ourselves? You might have gone through your whole life believing that you're pure human,
Yeah,
but then all of a sudden you go, "Oh my God, I am a Pleiadian hybrid." And
yeah.
what type of impact do you think that's going to have on someone's mental health when they suddenly start remembering that they are actually part of the hybridization program themselves?
I think it's going to be okay. I mean, I'm pleasantly optimistic that that people, by the time that that happens, it'll be like kind of an awakening, maybe part of that diamond light, that all of a sudden, oh, I have this special power. You know, it comes with gifts, doesn't it? So there's that. But also, you'll find that many like-minded of you are definitely hybrids. So, and the memories that we have from our star families are so beautiful, and the way that they contact us, and often I'll feel from the back of my high heart, one of the angelic beings or somebody. Oh, sorry, I did that, didn't I? That
That's all
was,
right. That's all right. It's quite cool. It's almost like that, isn't it? It's like
yeah.
Terry goes, nano, nano.
So, but but as this happens, we're going to have these great awakenings, and it's going to be a beautiful thing. The beings that come in and they touch the back of your heart space, it changes your life. It you get a heart opening, which is like a Kundalini awakening, right? It's like better than anything that they could have made in a lab. I mean, it's just amazing energy.
Yeah, it is. It really is. So, for those people that don't know about the hybridization program, could you just explain like what that is, where it's come from, who originated it, you know?
Well, it comes from the Galactic Council, but when we came in to this planet, um, different beings were seated, and part of that was to help them and these beings, these species, to evolve, because some of them could no longer reproduce, and also to help the planet, because it really helped us. I mean, we've got the fight or flight response, you know, the reptilian brain inside of us, that the human species probably could not have come to this point without that. So, so we have many different species that have seeded us. And so we have lots of different gifts, as well as hybrid parents. So a lot of times, if you have a hybrid parent, then what happens is there's twins or there's multiples. And if this happens, the Earth family knows about it. They make an agreement. And then whether the baby is birthed by a human or by a galactic, if they look human, they'll come to this planet. If they look galactic, they'll go back to the mothership and and be raised there. But I've seen visions of many of them, like in together. You know, I mean, there's actually quite a lot of them. So beautiful, beautiful areas. But
That's gorgeous. No, it sounds lovely. I mean, I have memories of a place. I don't know whether it's a spaceship or a starship, but it is. There's all these. It sounds a bit cliched, but like
no,
babies in like big glass tubes, and some of
yes,
them are full of water, and they're sort of just floating around in there, and it looks like some sort of really strange experiment, you know, like Frankenstein's monster or whatever, you know, but these are actual like babies, and they look. Some
yeah.
of them just look human, some of them d don't look so human. Is that what's taking place on the starships, do you think? They're almost are they raising them in test tubes and stuff?
Oh gosh, this is Dr. Gales, one of my good friends. We do a lot of work together. This is her niche, but I'll just say that I believe that, yeah, there are gestational areas that they have for this, and also if it's a long trip, then there'll be areas for everybody to go in and hibernate until they land or get close to the orbit of the planet that they're going to. But but they can give birth as well, um, through their bodies, and you know, not all of them are female either. There's many that can reproduce on their own and have that baby on their own.
Mm. And
So
so could we exist in a place like that and here on the planet as well? Like, could we be part of that incubation system on a starship and also be fully present, living a human experience as well?
it's funny, isn't it? So again, I'm rather linear, but yeah, if we believe in the quantum field, then yes, we are living all these lives at once. So there is no time or space. So there's different sections that we're in, and living. So yeah, we probably are on that ship, and I've been on many ships, and I've been inside ships inside the Earth. I mean, they've shown them to me. So
What do they look like, Terry? I mean, are you talking about ships like the Solaris that Dr. Gale has been on, or the Athena, or are you talking about the staff, the Silver Fleet, or what types of
yeah,
ships?
there's all different kinds inside, and there's huge cities inside there, and it looks like something, all different kinds of ships floating in. Oh, sorry, all different kinds of ships floating in, and all sorts of beings and orbs coming in and out, and many kinds. They've also shown me time travel with these ships. So a lot of times they'll have two different orbs on each side. I call them orbs, but they're really, I mean, massive, right? But and each one is different. Like one is for going forward in time, and one is for going past.
That's interesting. That's interesting because I was wondering if they could go backwards and forwards down different timelines into the past and into the future. That's really cool. So I see those orbs as I call them spheres. So I definitely see those spheres in my mind's eye, but I don't really know what they are. And I just sometimes think that they are just my imagination. But I'm hearing more and more people's sort of interpretations of them. And so I think it must be a thing. So
Yeah.
when you go on board these crafts of different sorts, you say you've been shown on board. Does that mean that you're having a very etheric or a very physical experience on board the crafts? And are you meeting different members of the Galactic Federation of Planets? Are they showing you around? What are they doing?
Yeah, they showed me time travel years ago, and that was aboard one of the ships, and that was galactic. Now, when I go to galactic council meetings, if I do, I don't like them. Then I go inner Earth. So, but I've asked not to do that.
What do the Galactic Council stuff?
Yeah, I don't like them.
Why? Like what sort of stuff do they discuss in the councils?
It's just there's a lot of politics involved, and it gives me the heebie-jeebies. I gotta say, I don't like the politics.
No,
So yeah,
I can imagine because I'm the same. I don't like politics. And I think,
right,
I'd end up nodding off, be like,
yeah,
and do they have the same types of arguments and discussions that we have here on Earth? Is it a
certainly
similar
they
sort of
do.
thing?
Certainly, yeah, and there's some beings that come in that are extremely powerful and a little frightening. I'm going to add. So I don't want to be a part of it. And even though, of course, you're safe, it's all they have plenty of energy there, but yeah, it's not comfortable for me.
So why do you feel like have been offered this invitation to even sit on the Galactic Council in the first place? Like why you, do you think?
Um, I don't know. Like I could always tell people, I could always see people and know that they didn't belong on the planet. Like I always knew that they were from a different planet, and like I could see the smaller people with the sky in their eyes and the darker hair and very light skin, and the big giants that come in. And I always have a lot of Lyrans around me when I travel or go someplace. And they're about 8 feet tall and very hairy, but they don't like to make eye contact. But it's just our family, right? That's all it is. I'm nothing special about that. And I think we're all going to wake up to that. It's just our families.
Hmm.
So
That's really lovely. So it's almost like the invitation to go and sit there and explore that is open for everybody if you choose it or not. And
yeah,
so who
yeah.
are the scary ones then? Which ones scare you the most?
They were a little bit jelly like there are beings that um uh like plasma type beings that they come in a container and their energy is so big that I'm just like, whoa. I mean, it really does affect me. So even talking about them, I'm like,
Oh,
that's
wow, really?
energy. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
where are
And
they
then
from,
there's,
the jelly ones? Where are they from? Do you know?
I have no idea what planet they're from. And then there's also like the Lyran royals that come in that are amazing. And all sorts of different beings that come in.
Are they like
Really,
the Lions of Judah, the Lyran Royals?
yes,
Are
yeah,
they?
yeah,
Is that them?
yeah. They're beautiful. They were red, purple, and green with LeMay. I mean, just beautiful energy, beautiful. And then there's also the who else that comes in? Oh, lots of reptilians. So, you know, they're still around.
Yeah. So when you find yourself in those types of environments, it impacts your energy field, so you can't be around it for too long. You'd rather project your consciousness into a different place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I work with Inner Earth,
Inner
but
Earth.
I don't do council work at all.
Have you been to Telos?
You know, people have asked me about that. I don't really know a lot about it.
Okay,
I
so
don't
what I
really
know
know.
of Telos, it's a city that's under Mount Shasta in Northern California, and a lot of people
Yes.
say that they've been there through visiting Mount Shasta. They've found their way in, and it's part of an inner Earth city that's connected to lots of other inner Earth cities through the railways that they've got or the whatever they are.
Yeah. They
So
have
it's a
canals
network, isn't
and
it?
rails. They have lots of tunnels. Yeah. Um, I I'm sure that I've been around there. Like I've done a lot of work underneath the pyramids, under the Himalayas, lots of different areas. But but the Lyrans, it was interesting because Dr. Gal, our mutual friend, that we both work with, she she was living in Mount Shasta, and at the time, I was telling her about the Lyrans that were escorting me around, and she was seeing them too at the same time. Same look, everything. And we're talking about it and we're trying to figure out how they come around. Well, the city that I live in, there's a huge underground cave system here. And people don't know much about it, like it's guarded, right? And we believe that they come in through that. Yeah, so that would have been through that city. What's it called? Ethos?
Telos.
Tell us. Okay, I'm
Telos,
gonna.
yeah. That's the first time I started exploring the inner Earth. I was told about Telos, and you know how it's because I think Mount Shasta is an ancient volcano, and it was hollowed out using sound resonance frequencies, and of course the beings that exist there are Lemurian, but they were on the fifth dimension or something. It's
Yeah.
yeah, so I think that they are mainly Lemurian souls that exist in Telos. It's like a big crystalline city that apparently is going to reappear above Mount Shasta in sort of years to come, but like a crystalline energy field
Wow.
around there as well. So, but I,
Yeah.
again, it's like something that I'm not completely au fait with because I suppose I'm more connected with the Andromedan Council. I
Right.
haven't explored the inner Earth, so a lot of the information that you're giving me today is new to me. But I know just a little bit, about it all. Um, I didn't realize the Lyrans were so connected with the inner Earth.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
so the Lyrans, as you perceive them, are they more the bird type or the cat-like beings?
cat-like.
The cat-like ones.
Well, let me say that the birds do come in a lot,
Hmm.
and the blue avians as well are down
Yeah.
there. You've got a lot of different ones, but yeah, usually they're about 7 to 8 feet tall, lots of hair. The tall Nords are down there. Of course, there's the giants. Some of it are the rock people, but some are another species. So uh, lots and lots of different species down there. I haven't met all of them.
Mm.
Um, it's interesting. Many indigenous tribes know about them. They've talked about them, of course, forever.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
100%. I know that it's just it's been around forever, but I think the Western civilization is just starting to like tap into it and to awaken to all of this. So it's so interesting. I think where a lot of people go wrong or can't get their head around is where you try and imagine the inner earth as being like third dimensional, like the outer earth is, because it's not, is it?
No, it's not. It's so funny. There's so much, this is one reason why I think we're all going a little bit because there's so much energy inside inner earth and there's so much galactic energy, right? And the light grid is coming on as well. So we are just getting zapped right now and activated. So yeah, there's all sorts of energy inside there and all sorts of different dimensions.
Why do you
So
think?
and oh, go ahead.
So why do you think that we as humans then agreed to incarnate on the outer Earth? Like, didn't we get the raw deal?
Right? What's up with that?
Isn't
I
it?
I think that we came at this time because this is the chance. Like the human species has been knocked off the earth many times, right? Um, Gaia has shaken us off because we screwed up. So this is the time that we get it right. And consequently, I feel like a lot of beings came down from a lot of different species, a lot of different galactic families and inner Earth families that are here working together to change it,
Hmm.
to ascend.
And you mentioned that you've spent a bit of time working underneath the pyramids. Now, I've heard some information about this through Darius Wright, I think he's called. I
Oh,
think
I'm
he
in love with him.
Yeah,
He's
he's
so cute.
amazing. I think
Yeah.
he does a lot of remote viewing or astral travel, and he goes into underneath the pyramids, and he
Yeah.
talks about what's going on there. What work are you doing underneath the pyramids, and do you see what he sees?
I don't remember everything that he sees, but I can tell you what I see.
Hmm.
When I go in there, I usually go to the healing areas. So when I go to the healing areas, there are bodies that are in stasis and they're just floating in the room, and there's healers working on them. So this is a space that we go for inner earth beings, for galactic beings, for healing and whatnot. So, but also they have shown me that this is very similar to what happens if a soul were to had a lot of trauma in a lifetime. Then, as they leave the body, there's also something very similar that happens, and the healers work on their energy to because waking up sometimes is hard if you've been through so much trauma, right? Particularly if you've been um, what they call the villain in it, right? If you've had a lifetime that you've really done some things.
Mhm.
So,
So
so
they may find themselves underneath the pyramids to heal before they then cross to the other side.
oh, you can do it. You can also do it in the fifth dimension, no problem. Yeah, yeah, there's all sorts of different areas like that, but it's one of the healing areas that's down there. There's the waters in there, there's priests and priestesses in there. There's lots of energy in there, there's lots of libraries in there. um, there's also a lot of power in there, a lot of power banks in there. So, and the golden lions.
Okay. So why did they decide to go subterranean as opposed to staying in the upper chambers, do you think?
I I think that maybe for them it is the upper chambers. I think that it's a dimension on top of a dimension on top of a dimension sometimes. You know,
Okay.
we're so linear. And that's the only way that my brain can kind of get all of it sometimes, like the quantum field. Oh my God. So you're like, I do believe that there are dimensions on top of dimensions. And we think, oh, it's going to be so much darkness, but it's not because it's crystalline energy everywhere
Hmm.
and it's just shining. I mean, there's caves that are filled with amethyst and caves that are filled with diamonds and caves that are filled with gold and emeralds. And some are multicolored. And it's interesting when you walk into the air, a lot of the areas. Do you remember that scene in oh, I think it was Don Johnson that played in it. I can't remember, but it was where they unlock, it was Mummy Returns or something, and they go to the pyramid and they're digging down in there, and they put the key in the lock, and this huge wall of locks, each one of them turns right, and it's just like, and it's kind of like that, but you do it with your heart.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That sounds beautiful. So
Yeah,
it truly is like opening Pandora's box into a labyrinth of new possibilities. I
yeah.
love that. I must admit though, as you're talking about that, it did remind me of what I thought was a dream I had when I was a child, and I found myself under the pyramids in a room full of gold, and I just remember thinking, "I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm so, like I found the gold," and then when I woke up, I just remember thinking, "Oh, bollocks." Why can't I bring this with me? But
Right.
it's yeah, I've always thought that there must be worlds within worlds underneath the pyramids. It just makes sense to me because as above, so below. There's got to be that same thing. And I just actually even think that what we see of the pyramids is just really the tip of them. I don't even think it's
Oh, yeah, just the tip, just the
yeah.
tip. There's so much going on down there. And you can feel the energy. It's just, I mean, I can feel it right now.
Mm,
It's huge.
it's beautiful.
So, yeah, lots of healing areas down
Lots
there.
of healing areas. Anything else? What else is down there then? So there's healing areas. You've mentioned these other rooms. I mean, is the purpose of the pyramids then, from your perspective, a giant battery? Is it an energy generator?
Well, there is that down there. Yeah, it's a huge energy. And it's also very, very rich in all sorts of precious metals that can be used to help power things as we get the technology for it. But
Oh,
yeah,
like
that's
new
that's part
precious
of what.
metals, things that are the different to gold and silver and a lot of the other
Oh
precious
yeah,
metals that we've got.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Things that we'll be able to power things with. That's it's part of the power banks.
Mm.
So there's rooms filled with things. Sekhmet is down there a lot too.
Oh wow,
So
Sekhmet, the healing warrior god. Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
That's
So
amazing. So she's her energy's down there. What
oh,
does she
definitely.
look like a cat in her form down there?
She does. She does. She does kind of remind me of Valyrian. She looks.
Mm.
She's quite beautiful. But yeah, her face is very feline. So that's the way I perceive her.
Mm.
But she's very Egyptian, what she wears, and um, it's like you come across these beings, and it's awesome, but it's also like they're very loving. So
It surprises me because she's got a bit of a bad rap, Sekhmet, hasn't she? Because she's known as the goddess of healing and war. So I thought
and
she would have been a bit of a bit of a cow.
well, I like Medusa too. So what can I
Oh dear.
say? Oh yeah, she got a bad rap too.
Oh well,
She is divine feminine.
I'm glad
Yeah.
she's turned good. That's that's important. That she's not, she's not just. like bossing everyone around on there,
Right.
telling them
Yeah.
what to do. Wow,
Yeah.
it's truly fascinating talking to you actually, and just like I had no idea, um, when I invited you to be a guest on the show that you we were our conversation was going to end up like this. I hadn't planned it to sort of go down like this route, but I'm glad that it has because I feel like I've learned so much, and you've
Um,
opened my mind
fine.
to new possibilities and probabilities. And I think that anybody that's watching this should, even if you've got initial sort of your buttocks are clenching at certain points and going, oh, I don't know if I believe that. Just keep an open mind because, again, we all have our own version of reality and we have our own experiences that lead us to, having certain information passed on to us. And if you can, receive what Terry is saying with an open heart, I think you'll find it will benefit you in the long run. No, I'm, very grateful to you for sharing your wisdom with
Um,
us today. It has been a really beautiful conversation exploring, your intuitive and multidimensional awareness and your journey of remembering, who you truly are. Don't forget
well,
to follow Terry on Holding a Space podcast and YouTube channel as well, which is fantastic. Is that the best place for people to get into contact with you, Terry?
yeah, or my website, holdingyourspace.com.
Ah,
So,
brilliant. I'll put the link in the description below
okay.
that people can reach
Okay.
out to you there and get a multidimensional healing and join your meditation groups, etc. as
Yeah.
well. What
Yeah. So lots of
is
crystalline healing, and that's my main thing, the crystalline healing, and this is my fun stuff that I do. But it's all right around the corner. We're all gonna be finding out about it the next 10 years. So
Oh,
I
I
think,
sincerely hope so. And I hope it doesn't, like in 10 years' time, we don't get to, oh, well, we're going to know more about it in 10 years. And then we were like, well,
yeah,
what happened to the last 10 years? I
I
don't know if I've got
know.
another 10 years in me.
I think 10 years is really far off. I feel like it's going to be sooner, but you know what? Not everybody wants it. Not everybody's ready for it, and that's okay. So I have a lot of other meditations that I offer, crystal Reiki healing and crystalline energy work. So yeah.
And what's the benefit of that? Just so people understand what your crystalline energy work is all about. Like what can they expect to receive from a session with you?
Well, lots of different things. So I also do mediumship. I channel your guides. I can help with things in your life. But if we're doing a healing, then that crystalline energy, I'm really reworking the strands like grandmother spider, that are part of your program. So not just physically, but emotionally as well. So
That sounds
does that
beautiful.
make
So
sense?
reworking the DNA strands for us.
Not just DNA, the crystalline energy strands. So it's all about the crystalline energy. God, Earth is filled with beautiful crystalline energy. It's just huge, and the waters inside the Earth as well. So I journey with people into the healing waters inside the Earth, but also we have strands in our light body, our crystalline body, which is outside our auric field, kind of like our higher self. You could call it our oversoul, but that's how I see that. But that crystalline energy also, you can weave in new threads to help with different things that are going on.
Oh, that sounds beautiful. That sounds so. I almost feel like as you're talking about it, I'm having, I'm having it all happen to me as you're saying it. It sounds lovely. So is it's like an activation of your light body, is it? It's going through a
That is
process.
correct. It's an activation of your light body, but it's also, there are times when uh, some of the programming needs to be redone.
Mm,
So, and that's me working with you. That's not me making changes to you. That's me just fine tuning.
yeah, no, that sounds amazing. Oh, it sounds like exactly what I need, actually.
Let's
Could
do
do
it.
with I could do with a couple of those sessions, Terry. I think I'll be reaching out to you myself. Yes, yes,
Lovely.
please.
Lovely.
I'm so stuck in my red energy still, even after all these years, Terry, you know.
I love it. I love it.
Anyway, I'll let you go. It has been so nice to connect with you again, as I said today. And yeah, please, to anybody that's watching, please do reach out to Terry because, I've been aware of your work now for a while, and it's, you are a genuine and heart-centered person. So I think that
Well,
there's a lot of charlatans out there, and and we
yeah.
like, I just want to, I'd highly recommend you anyway. So that's really good.
Oh,
And Dr. Gale
an
as well.
honor. What an honor. Thank you. Yeah, she's amazing.
She is amazing, yeah. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow my channel as well, and see if you can help me get to 10,000 subscribers. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Before the end of the world. Fingers and toes crossed. And yeah, until next time, keep exploring, keep awakening, and remember the universe is always speaking to us if we're willing to listen. Bye for now.